Welcome on back. We're about to hit 6:44 this Thursday morning. Chinese President Xi Jinping is hosting President Donald Trump this morning as the two leaders carry out closed-door discussions. So let's send it over to Scripps News Group national correspondent Joe St. George, who's live in Washington. And Joe, what's been the biggest news from the trip so far?
I think it's, to some degree, it's the optics. It's the red carpet, the elaborate welcome, the message that clearly President Xi Jinping wanted to send and President Trump wanted to send as well, that despite all the differences between the U.S. and China, all the policy disagreements, all the tariffs and trade disputes, that the two leaders of the two biggest superpowers in our planet are capable of having a warmish relationship. President Trump called it a fantastic day. There was a state banquet in Beijing in which Xi Jinping toasted President Trump, toasted the United States. President Trump invited President Xi Jinping to the White House on September 24th for essentially a reciprocal visit. Again, all noteworthy developments. As far as what was discussed behind the scenes, when reporters were not present, there was an official, what's known as a readout from the White House. A readout is really a DC phrase for an executive summary of what happened behind the scenes. Obviously, with the White House spin on everything, the White House said it was a good meeting. The White House said that the two sides agreed that the Strait of Hormuz, on the issue of Iran, the Strait of Hormuz must remain open to support the free flow of energy. President Xi also made clear China is opposed to the militarization of the strait and any effort to charge a toll, which is what Iran has proposed to do in the past. He's expressed interest as well in purchasing more of American oil, American energy. Both sides agreed, according to the White House, that Iran should not have a nuclear weapon. Notable that in the official White House readout summary, the word Taiwan is not mentioned. China's government, they sent out a summary of their own, and they explicitly mentioned Taiwan and how President Xi, behind the scenes, warned President Trump that disagreements over Taiwan could be a source of great conflict and destabilizing the relationship between the U.S. and China in the future. Remember, China's country, about 23 million people live in China. It is self-ruled, but China believes it's a province of theirs that's gone awry. The U.S. has a strategic ambiguity as to what would happen if China would ever invade Taiwan. Obviously, Taiwan a big topic behind the scenes.
A lot of big stuff to track. Thank you, as always, Joe St. George, live in D.C. Now 6:40.